Look, young king, money isn't everything, but it's extremely important if you want to live the lifestyle of a king. In this video, I'm going to give you the crucial reasons why men should strive for financial independence in life, because it's going to give you an elevated sense of freedom and happiness in life that you will never get if you continue to live as a debt slave, as a wage slave, with you not being in control of your own destiny. So we're going to get into that in this video, but before we do, make sure you guys like this video, and if you're new and you watch this video and you enjoy this content and get value, make sure you guys subscribe. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now, before we get into the meat and potatoes of this video, we need to address one thing. Who am I? My name is PTK, aka Pawn to a King, and here on this channel, I show men who are living the existence of a pawn. And what is a pawn? It's essentially a guy who's wandering. He has no mission. He has no greater purpose. And the worst part about it is that he's being misused, mistreated, exploited, and abused by people and powers around him. And what I do is I show him the skills, the knowledge, the resources, the tools, the skill sets, and most importantly, the mindset, so he can transform his way of thinking and think like a king, a guy who is in control of his life, a guy who knows where he's going. He has a greater purpose, a greater mission in his life, and he's building up a lifestyle full of freedom and happiness for himself and for people around him. And in this video, it's no different. Today, we're going to be talking about financial independence, not financial freedom. They're different, quite contrary to what people believe. Financial freedom and financial independence are different. Financial freedom is when you balling. Financial freedom is when you're making so much money, you could do whatever the hell you want and fund whatever type of lifestyle you want. If you want to go and live in Cabo and get a jet or whatever the hell you want, you can do it within reason. Obviously, you guys can't be a billionaire and go to the moon every day with space rockets like Elon Musk. He's literally the highest level of financial freedom, right? But I'm talking about financial independence, and all of you guys can get to this point. If you're a 19-year-old guy, 20-year-old guy, 25-year-old guy, even a 30-year-old guy, you can become financially independent, because essentially financial independence is where you have enough savings, you have investments, you have diversifications and assets that can cover you financially to the point where you are not reliant on a job. You are not reliant on a company, on a manager, on a boss, because again, if you are reliant on other people, how can you really call yourself free? Think about this, financial independence. If you're independent financially, it means that you're not tied to one person or tied to one specific gig. And that's so important as a man, because like I said in the short, a man always wants to keep his power in all areas of your life, whether it be the women, whether it be your friendships, whether it be finances, whether it be family. You as a man, you need to have power, because you are a leader. You are the head of the household. And whenever a man gives away his power, he becomes a slave. He becomes unhappy. He becomes unappreciated and undervalued, because his role is always supposed to be that of a leader. And when it comes to your finances, it's no different. In this modern society, for you to be a masculine man, a man with a king's mindset, a king's mind frame, you need to have freedom. You need to have independence, to be particular. So essentially, I want you guys to start to go after this, because this is going to allow you to have a greater peace of mind. It's going to allow you to be able to live a better lifestyle. You're not going to have the same pitfalls as the average guy. And keep in mind, I've gone through this as well. As I'm continuing to grow and gain better understanding on finances and be more financially literate, I'm getting closer to becoming financially independent. When I was working at McDonald's every day making $7 a wage, that was low level. Then when I went to Target, it was still low level. Then warehouse jobs, still low level. Then sales, not as low level. Then a higher ranking sales job, not as low level. So whenever you guys are in your life, you're gonna have different jobs where you may make more money and you may make less money, right? But the point of it is that you're gonna gradually increase. And as you increase and you get in a better financial position, you're gonna free yourself from the shackles of this monetary system, this monetary lifestyle that we live in this society. So this is a very important video, because if you guys want to be free, if you guys want to have a king's mindset, a king is in control of his own life, especially financially. Now, when it comes to financial freedom, there are two different aspects of it. You have the physical aspect of having financial freedom, and then you have the mental aspect of financial freedom. So first, we're gonna go over the physical aspect. One of the first and most popular and biggest reasons that you should have financial independence is because you can live a comfortable lifestyle. I'm not one of these guys telling you need to be super rich. I've never had a goal in my life where I wanted to be a
uber boober millionaire making $3, $4, $5 million having a supercar.
I'm not a very materialistic person. And as I've learned the Bible, and even before I got to the Bible, I wasn't extremely caught up in materialistic things. But as I've grown more as a man, I start to understand those things are not what's most important in my life. And essentially what I'm trying to tell you guys is you do not have to be rich to be financially independent. You just need to make good decisions with your money. You need to save your money. You need to make proper investments and proper decisions and have self-discipline and financial discipline over a consistent period of time, and you will eventually become financially independent, regardless of inflation, regardless of the job market. Now, of course, if the dollar crashes and the economy completely obliterates tomorrow, then yeah, who gives a fuck what I'm talking about? But I'm talking about the way our society is right now. You can essentially apply these principles and you can become financially independent. And the first reason is so that way you can live a comfortable lifestyle. You're not constantly slaving, living paycheck to paycheck. Whenever you have a issue with your car or an issue with your health, you don't have to go to a loan shark or go to predatory credit card policies where they're charging you 25% interest so you can pay off a debt. You're going to have a lot of money or a decent amount of money to be able to cover things like that, because oftentimes the greatest stresses in your life, they come from money. Think about when it comes to a marriage. What is the biggest reason why marriages do not work in Western society? The biggest reason has to do with money issues, has to do with financial issues. So you as a man, this is an essential tool for you if you want to live a good life and if you don't want to go through hell. We're all going to go through hell in adversity, but money is a tool, money is a defense, and it'll make your life easier, and it'll also allow you to have a good lifestyle, because if you're able to buy a car, if you're able to fly and go to a different country, if you're able to have extra money to spend, you will be happier. I don't care what anybody says. Money can't buy happiness, but if you have a certain aspects of joy and elements of happiness, then money can essentially allow those things to get stronger or bigger. You are not going to have the same level of freedom compared to a guy who got his shit in order and has money to provide for his family. Point blank, period. Now, the second reason why a man should strive for financial independence in his life is the security. Like I said earlier, when you're going through hell and hot water, whether it be a health issue, whether it be car breakdown, you need to get a new car, God forbid, somebody in your family died, things like that happen. You get fired on your day off like Craig off Friday. You need to have some form of security blanket financially, because again, we are in a monetary system, a system that is predicated off whether you have funds and money to be able to buy and do the things that you want to do in this society. So if you go through a hard time and you don't have no money, you cannot feel secure in life. And I don't give a fuck how great your life is or how great you think your life is. If you have money saved up, because again, what are the 3 guarantees in life as a man? Death, taxes, and your ass going through hard times. So I don't care who you are. If you have some money to help you through those hard times, they're not going to be as hard as you're making them out to be in your head, my guy. So essentially, when you strive for financial independence, you have a blanket of security. But the first thing is savings, an emergency fund. You guys, wherever you're at, work your ass off to get 3 to 6 months of emergency fund saving. That's where I'm at right now, and I'm working to build it. Not only that, but you guys should not be going into debt.
Will you guys be trying to avoid STDs with these thoughts out there?
You need to avoid debt like the plague, because debt is going to take away from your wealth, whatever way you look at it. And also, if you're a man who's wise, you want to have investments. You want to start to obtain assets. We have been programmed to think that an asset is really a liability, and that a liability is an asset, because we think the asset doesn't look cool. The asset doesn't give us a validation. The asset doesn't make the woman's panties get wet. The asset doesn't make you feel like you're the man on the block and your family is impressing you. But the thing that you really need to understand about this life, majority of the things that people think are liabilities, the masses think are liabilities, are actually assets. When you have a strong, sturdy, reliable car with low maintenance, that is an asset compared to if you have a BMW luxury car where you're spending $500 a month to maintain plus gas and all this other stuff, and you have a $1,000 car note. That's not an asset. That is a huge liability. Not only that, but when you're going and trying to find a life of luxury or fund a life of luxury compared to having a home that you can afford, compared to investing in whether it be a 401k or whether it be a high ETF account. These are things that are real assets. Having things that can make you money and preserve your wealth, those are real assets. Not going to the club, not having these trinkets that is fake. I mean, if you have gold and it's worth something, yeah, obviously that could be an asset. But most of y'all don't got that kind of money. You don't got that kind of money to get 50% pure Cuban link 24 karat gold. So don't even come and talk to me on this video like that. So you need to focus on gaining assets. That way your assets can make you money when you become an old man. Because I'm 28 and my body is starting to feel like an old man. So I can already imagine by the time I'm 58, I know I'm not going to be able to work as hard as I am right now. So I got to plan and get assets and get investments so I can set myself up in the future, as well as setting up the kids that if I do want to have kids in life, they're going to be taken care of because I wasn't taken care of as a kid. So long story short, being financially independent gives you more security in life, period. And the third tool, and a lot of guys tend to overlook this, is that when you're financially independent, when you have a decent amount of money, you have a network. Because again, in this society, it's funded by money. Now, if you just this super Casanova dude and you have charisma and you can just network with people even if you don't got money, hey brother, you need to show me the secret sauce. You need to give me the formula for how charismatic you are. Because generally in this society, if you don't have money or some form of status, you are not going to get this great network, because there are going to be times where you need a good lawyer. You may need a job. You may need business partners. You're going to need people around you. And I don't care who you are, but when you have money to afford these people, they make your life easier. Even when it comes to building a business, if you have $5,000, $10,000 to invest into a course, it's going to make it a lot easier for you to get the results that you want, comparing to doing things the hard way and, I'm going to grind, I'm going to figure it out. Yeah, you can do that. Or you can pay somebody who's already been in your position and is offering to help you and get you from your position to their position in half the time if you have the money. That's just how the society works. Oftentimes the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, not necessarily because the rich have money, but because the rich have access to people who can help them in life because they have money. Compared to the poor, they're just trying to get what they can get, and oftentimes they get left behind. It's a dog-eat-dog world. The life ain't fair, but hey, life it is what it is. Either you're gonna stand up, man up, and deal with the punches, or you're gonna continue to complain and wallow and stay at where you at. Other thing that we oftentimes overlook is when you are able to provide for yourself financially and be comfortable, you can also give to other people. You know, again, I follow the Bible. So there's a concept in the Bible called alms, where you can give to help other people. I'm not going to tell you guys what I do, but the more money you have, if you have a loving and a careful and a giving heart, you're going to be able to give and help other people in more ways than one. And now we go into the other aspect of being financially independent. It's a mental aspect, because one thing that men have to accept in life is that if you want to be respected as a man, you have to have some form of money or being able to make money, the ability to make money. I'm not saying that's the only way you can get respect as a man. Don't try to misconstrue my words. But essentially, the first aspect mentally is, if you are in a relationship with a woman and you want to be the leader, you want to be the head, you want to be the one who's in control of the relationship, if you have money, you maintain power in your relationship. A lot of guys get caught up in this modern society aspect of 50-50 and all this other shit. And don't get me wrong, if you have to have a woman who's doing a 50-50, you can do that.
But I am telling you,
if you are in a long-term relationship and you are dependent on your woman financially, she's not going to respect you as much as she can. She's not going to love you as much as she can. I'm just going to be honest. I'm going to be the bearer of bad news. Women respect what you can do for them, not necessarily who you are. Women respect how you make them feel. They love you for how you make them feel, not necessarily for who you are. You could be the same guy today, but change the way that you make her feel and she doesn't love you no more. So it doesn't, and not just when it comes to her emotions, but also when you can provide financially. That's just the world we live in. Why do you think guys who are multimillionaires can be polygamous and have multiple women, and girls on the internet like, oh, you have multiple men, that can't do that. That's nah. But then when you don't have no money and you're trying to go to a woman and say you're polygamy, she like, polygamy? I'm not sharing my man. But when you got money, she willing to share you even though she don't like it, because women are turned on and they respond to power. And in this society, money is power. You guys can watch my video, Why Men Age Like Fine Wine. I explain that one of the aspects of becoming a man as you get older, you gain more power, especially when it comes to your finances. So when it comes to you in your relationship with your woman, if you are able to maintain yourself financially and continue to build and grow and provide for yourself in her, she's going to respect you and she's going to be more submissive than if you're a guy dependent on her. Point blank, period. Not only that, but this is one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to go into sales and eventually start my own company. But you are not dependent on a job. You are not dependent on an employer. One of the key aspects of our life that causes us a lot of stress is we're constantly looking for employment. We're constantly wondering, is my job going to be gone? There's a recession on the foot. It might be a damn depression. And a lot of people in the back of their head, they're wondering, they're nervous. And keep them FYI, if you watch me on this channel, you should not be too nervous, because I make videos telling you to prepare for stuff like that. If you didn't see it, watch my video on how a man can prepare for hard times. Essentially, you as a man, you do not feel safe or you do not feel at peace if you are constantly dependent on your employer to provide for your lifestyle. Now, look, if you're trying to grow and you're trying to save money like me, I'm working to grow and gain, more of an emergency fund. So hypothetically speaking, if the job that I work at right now doesn't work, it would make things harder for me, but I have other ways to make money. When you're a guy and you're only dependent on one job and one company and one skill, you are literally at the mercy of another company.
They literally have your cojones scratched in your ball.
And they can twist you anyway. They say, hey, you better work an extra 20 hours. They twist it to the right. And they're like, yeah, you wanted that $5 raise, even though you worked here for 15 years, we're giving your ass 35 cents, because they got your balls right in their hands, because they control your financial life. And if you are, as a guy, you're working somewhere and they control you to the point where you can't leave and you can't negotiate on your terms, you are essentially a wage slave. You are a financial wage slave. And look, if you start off at that point, it is what it is. But as you continue to grow and you start to gain more wisdom and you gain more experience in life, you should work to wean yourself off of being a slave, a wage slave to these huge corporations, where if you ever got hurt, if you ever went upon hard times, if you ever did something to hurt their bottom line, they will not hesitate to cut your ass off. So you have to be able to remember that and keep that in the back of your head and not allow yourself to stay in that position long term. And the third mental aspect, and this is just unfortunate, it's unfortunate that our society is so fickle, but society sees you different when you're a man who's financially independent, especially if you're a man with financial freedom. I'm talking about a lot of money. But if you're a man and you have financial independence in life, people just treat you differently. When people see that you're poor, when people see that you're broke, when people see that you're on the lower classes of society, they do not treat you with the same amount of respect. It's the same reason why I said earlier with the networking physically, because when you have money, you have access to other people. Many people respect you based off of your money, and that is off. I don't personally agree with that, but this is just the reality of the world that we're living in. You could be a great man, have great character, great values, great integrity, but if people see that your bank account got 50 cents in it, the vast majority of people are not gonna look at you with the same type of respect compared to if you're a man with $1 million. So you have a choice. You can either live with that and accept it for what it is and not give a damn about whether society accepts you because you don't have money, which is kind of what I'm doing right now. But also, if I do have money and if people are offering to help me and benefit me because I have money, am I not going to take it? If it can make my life easier, am I not going to take it? Come on, man. You guys obviously would do that. So that's another reason why being financially independent helps and benefits you as a man, because people just generally look at you different. They treat you different. Just like a woman. If she's pretty and she's a 9 and she can get a high baller, even though a girl who's a 7 can't do it, she might feel bad for the girl who's a 7. But do you think she's not going to want to live that type of lifestyle? Of course she is, because she's a human being. You're a human being. I'm a human being. And we have a nature and we have certain feelings and desires and wants that we have in life, and we're going to go for them regardless of whether it's fair or not. So overall, when you're a guy who becomes financially independent, you have money saved, you have investments, you diversified your incomes, you're not dependent on a job. If you want to work the job, cool, but you're not dependent on that job only. You get a greater sense of freedom. You have a greater peace of mind, and you get greater respect and control within your life. So that's why it's very important for you guys long-term to financially consider and think about and plan on trying to allow yourself to become financially independent. And look, I'm not your daddy. I am not your grandfather. I am not your elder. I'm just a brother who's lived life. I have experience and I've learned how this world works. And I'm giving you my viewpoint and what path I think you guys should take if you want to have a king's mindset. You can click off this video, hit the down button, block me, report me to YouTube, whatever. But understand, my perspective, this will make your life easier and you will have a greater sense of happiness, fulfillment, and freedom when you have substantial financial income, period. So if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you guys hit that like button. And also, man, comment down below your opinions and your thoughts. Should a man pursue financial independence if he wants to be a masculine man? And lastly, if you enjoyed this content, make sure you guys subscribe. I'll catch you in the next video, man. Peace.